Chapter 12. Take it one oil barrel at a time. Persons with comparatively moderate powers will accomplish much if they apply themselves wholly and indefatigably to one thing at a time, said by Samuel Smiles. There is an old saying that by the yard it's hard, but inch by inch anything's a cinch. One of the best ways to overcome procrastination is for you to get your mind off the huge task in front of you and focus on a single action that you can take. One of the best ways to eat a large frog is for you to take it one bite at a time. Confucius wrote that a journey of 1,000 leagues begins with a single step. This is a great strategy for overcoming procrastination and getting more things done faster. Many years ago, I crossed the heart of the Sahara Desert, the Tenasserouf Deep in modern-day Algeria. By that time, the desert had been abandoned by the French for years and the original refueling stations were empty and shuttered. The desert was 500 miles across in a single stretch, without water, food, a blade of grass or even a fly. It was totally flat, like a broad yellow sand parking lot that stretched to the horizon in all directions. More than 1,300 people had perished in the crossing of that stretch of the Sahara in previous years. Often drifting sands had obliterated the track across the desert and the travelers had gotten lost in the night. To counter this lack of features in the terrain, the French had marked the track with black 55-gallon oil drums 5 kilometers apart at exactly the curvature of the earth as you crossed the flat wasteland. Because of this, wherever you were in the daytime, you could see two oil barrels, the one you had just passed and the one 5 kilometers ahead. And that was enough. All you had to do was to stir for the next oil barrel. As a result, we were able to cross the biggest desert in the world by simply taking it one oil barrel at a time. In the same way, you can accomplish the biggest task in your life by disciplining yourself to take it just one step at a time. Your job is to go as far as you can see. You will then see far enough to go further. To accomplish a great task, you must step out in faith and have complete confidence that your next step will soon become clear to you. Remember the wonderful advice: leap, and the net will appear. A great life, a great career is built by performing one task at a time, quickly and well, and then going on the next task. Financially independence is achieved by saving a little money every single month, year after year. Health and fitness are accomplished by just eating a little less and exercising a little more, day after day and month after month. You can overcome procrastination and accomplish extraordinary things by just taking the first step, by getting started toward your goal, and then by taking it one step, one oil barrel at a time. Eat that frog. Select any goal, task, or project in your life where you have been procrastinating and take just one step toward accomplishing it immediately. Sometimes all you need to do to get started is to sit down and make a list of all the steps you will need to take to eventually complete the task. Then just start and complete one item on the list and then one more and so on. You will be amazed at what you eventually accomplish. Chapter 13. Put the pressure on yourself. The first requisite for success is to apply your physical and mental energies to one problem incessantly without growing weary. Said by Thomas Edison. The world is full of people who are waiting for someone to come along and motivate them to be the kind of people they wish they could be. The problem is that no one is coming to the rescue. These people are waiting for a bus on a street where no buses pass. As a result, if they don't take charge of their lives and put the pressure on themselves, they can end up waiting forever. And that is what most people do. Only about 2% of people can work entirely without supervision. We call these people leaders. This is the kind of person you are meant to be. Your job is to form the habit of putting the pressure on yourself and not waiting for someone else to come along and do it for you. You must choose your own frogs and then make yourself eat them in their order of importance. The standards you set for your own work and behavior should be higher than anyone else could set for you. Make it a game with yourself to start a little earlier, work a little harder, and stay a little later. Always look for the ways to go the extra mile to do more than you are paid for. Your self esteem, the core of your personality, has been defined by the psychologist Nathaniel Branden as your reputation with yourself. You build up or pull down your reputation with yourself with everything you do or fail to do. The good news is that you feel terrific about yourself whenever you push yourself to do your best, whenever you go beyond where the average person would normally quit. Imagine each day that you have just received an emergency message and that you will have to leave town tomorrow for a month. If you had to leave town for a month, what would you absolutely make sure got done before you left? Whatever it is, go to work on that task right now. Imagine that you just received all expenses paid vacation as a prize, but you will have to leave tomorrow morning on the vacation or it will be given to someone else. What would you be determined to get finished before you left so that you could take that vacation? Whatever it is, start on that one job immediately. Successful people continually put the pressure on themselves to perform at high levels. Unsuccessful people have to be distracted and supervised and pressured by others. One of the great ways for you to overcome procrastination is by working as though you only had one day to get all your most important jobs done before you left for a month or went on vacation. By putting the pressure on yourself, you can accomplish more and better tasks faster than ever before. You become a high performance, high achieving personality. You feel terrific about yourself and bit by bit you build up the habit of rapid task completion that then goes on serve you all the days of your life. Eat that frog. Set deadlines and sub-deadlines on every task and activity. Create your own forcing system. Raise the bar on yourself and don't let yourself off the hook. Once you have set yourself a deadline, stick to it and even try to beat it. Write out every step of a major job or project before you begin. Then determine how many minutes and hours you will require to complete each phase. Organize your daily and weekly calendars to create time segments when you work exclusively on these tasks. Chapter 14. Maximize your personal powers. Gather in your resources, rally all your faculties, marshal all your energies, focus all your capacities upon mastery of at least one field of endeavor. Said by John Haggai. The raw material of personal performance and productivity is contained in your physical, mental, and emotional energies. When you are fully rested, you can get 2 times, 3 times, and 5 times as much done as when you are tired out. Your body is like a machine that uses food, water, and rest to generate energy that you then use to accomplish important tasks in your life and work. One of the most important requirements of being happy and productive is for you to guard and nurture your energy level at all times. The rule is that your productivity begins to decline after 8 or 9 hours of work. For this reason, working long hours into the night, although it is sometimes necessary, means that you are usually producing less and less in more and more time. The more tired you get, the worse is your work and the more mistakes you make. At a certain point, like a battery that is run down, you can reach the wall and simply be unable to continue. The fact is that you have specific times during the day when you are at your best. You need to identify these times and discipline in yourself to use them on your most important and challenging task. The most people are at their best in the mornings after a good night's sleep. Some people are better in the afternoons and a few people are most creative and productive in the evening or late night. A major reason for procrastination is fatigue or attempting to start on a task when you are tired out. You have no energy or enthusiasm. Like a cold engine in the morning, you can't seem to get yourself started. Whenever you feel overtired and overwhelmed with too much to do and too little time, stop yourself and just say, all I can do is all I can do. Sometimes the very best use of your time is to go home early and go to bed and sleep for 10 hours straight. This can completely recharge you and enable you to get 2 or 3 times as much done the following day, and of a far higher quality than if you had continued working long into the night. According to many researchers, the average American is not getting enough sleep relative to the amount of work he or she is doing. Millions of Americans are working in a state of mental fog as the result of working too much and sleeping too little. One of the smartest things you can do is to turn off the television and get to bed by 10 o'clock each night during the week. Sometimes one extra hour of sleep per night can change your entire life. Here is a rule for you. Take one full day off every week. During this day, either Saturday or Sunday, you absolutely refuse to read, clear correspondence, catch up on things from the office, or do anything else that taxes your brain. Instead, you go to a movie, exercise, spend time with your family, go for a walk, or any activity that allows your brain to completely recharge itself. It is true that a change is as good as a rest. Take regular vacations each year, both long weekends and 1 and 2 week breaks to rest and rejuvenate. You are always the most productive after a weekend or a vacation. Going to bed early 5 nights a week, sleeping in on the weekends, and taking one full day off each week will assure that you have far more energy. This added energy will enable you to overcome procrastination and get started on your major task faster and with greater resolve than you ever could if you were tired out. In addition, to keep your energy levels at their highest, be careful about what you eat. Start the day with a high protein, low fat, and low carbohydrate breakfast. Eat salads with fish or chicken at lunch. Avoid sugar, salt, white flour products, or desserts. Avoid soft drinks and candy bars or pastries. Feed yourself as you would feed a world class athlete before a competition, because, in many respects, that's what you are before starting work each day. By eating lean and healthy, exercising regularly, and getting lots of rest, you will get more and better work done easier and with greater satisfaction than ever before. The better you feel when you start work, the less you procrastinate, and the more eager you are to get the job done and get on with other tasks. High energy levels are indispensable to higher levels of productivity, more happiness, and greater success in everything you do. Eat that frog. Make an analysis of your current energy levels and your daily health habits. Resolve today to improve your levels of health and energy by asking the following questions. First, what am I doing physically that I should do more of? Second, what am I doing that I should do less of? Third, what am I not doing that I should start doing if I want to perform at my best? Fourth, what am I doing today that affects my health that I should stop doing altogether? Whatever your answers are to these questions, take action today. Chapter 15. Motivate yourself into action. It is in the compelling zest of high adventure and of victory and of creative action that man finds his supreme joy. Said by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. To perform at your best, you must become your own personal cheerleader. You must develop a routine of coaching yourself and encouraging yourself to play at the top of your game. Fully 90% of your emotions, positive or negative, are determined by how you talk to yourself on a minute-to-minute basis. It is not what happens to you, but the way that you interpret the things that are happening to you that determines how you feel. It is your version of events that largely determines whether they motivate or demotivate you, whether they energize or de-energize you. To keep yourself motivated, You must resolve to become a complete optimist. You must determine to respond positively to the words, actions, and reactions of the people and situations around you. You must refuse to let the avoidable difficulties and setbacks of daily life affect your mood or emotions. Your level of self esteem, how much you like and respect yourself, is central to your levels of motivation and persistence. You should talk to yourself positively all the time to boost your self esteem. Say things like, I like myself, over and over until you begin to believe it and behave like a person with a high performance personality. To keep yourself motivated and to overcome feelings of doubt or fear, continually tell yourself, I can do it, I can do it. When people ask you how you are, always tell them, I feel terrific. No matter how you really feel at the moment or what is happening in your life, resolve to remain cheerful and upbeat. It's been said that you should never share your problems with others because 80% of people don't care about your problems anyway, and the other 20% are kind of glad that you have got them in the first place. In study after study, psychologists have determined that optimism is the most important quality that you can develop for personal and professional success and happiness. It seems that optimists have three special behaviors, all learned through practice and repetition. First, optimists look for the good in every situation. No matter what goes wrong, they always look for something good or beneficial, and not surprisingly, they always seem to find it. Second, optimists always seek the valuable lesson in every setback or difficulty. They believe that difficulties come not to obstruct but to instruct. They believe that each setback or obstacle contains a valuable lesson they can learn and grow from, and they are determined to find it. Third, optimists always look for the solution to every problem. Instead of blaming or complaining when things go wrong, they become action oriented. They ask questions like, what's the solution? What can we do now? What's the next step? In addition, people who are habitually optimistic, positive, and upbeat think and talk continually about their goals. They think and talk about the future and where they are going rather than the past and where they came from. They are always looking forward rather than backward. When you continually visualize your goals and ideals and talk to yourself in a positive way, you feel more focused and energized. You feel more confident and creative. You experience a greater sense of control and personal power. And the more positive and motivated you feel, the more eager you are to get started and the more determined you are to keep going. Eat that frog. Control your thoughts. Remember, you become what you think about most of the time. Be sure that you are thinking and talking about the things you want rather than the things you don't want. Keep your mind positive by accepting complete responsibility for yourself and for everything that happens to you. Refuse to criticize or blame others for anything. Resolve to make progress rather than excuses. Keep your thoughts and your energy focused forward on the things you can do to improve your life and let the rest go. Chapter 16. Practice creative procrastination. Make time for getting big tasks done every day. Plan your daily workload in advance. Single out the relatively few small jobs that absolutely must be done immediately in the morning. Then go directly to the big task and pursue them to completion. These are boardroom reports. Creative procrastination is one of the most effective of all personal performance techniques. It can change your life. The fact is that you can't do everything that you have to do. You have to procrastinate on something. Put off eating smaller or less ugly frogs. Eat the biggest and ugliest frogs before anything else. The difference between high performers and low performers is largely determined by what they choose to procrastinate on. Since you must procrastinate anyway, decide today to procrastinate on low value activities. Decide to procrastinate, outsource, delegate, and eliminate those activities that don't make much of the contribution to your life in any case. Get rid of the tadpoles and focus on the frogs. Here is a key point. To set proper priorities, you must set posteriorities as well. A priority is something that you do more of and sooner, while a posteriority is something that you do less of and later, if at all. Rule: you can only get your time and your life under control to the degree to which you discontinue lower value activities. One of the most powerful of all words in time management is the word no. Say no to anything that is not a high value use of your time and your life. Say it early and say it often. The fact is that you have no spare time. As we say, your dance card is full. For you to do something new, you must complete or stop doing something old. Getting in requires getting out. Picking up means putting down. Creative procrastination is the act of thoughtfully and deliberately deciding upon the exact things you are not going to do right now, if ever. Most people engage in unconscious procrastination. They procrastinate without thinking about it. As a result, they procrastinate on a big, hard, valuable, important task that can have significant long term consequences to their lives and careers. You must avoid this common tendency at all cost. Your job is to deliberately procrastinate on those tasks that are of low value so that you have more time for those tasks that can really make a difference in your life and work. Continually review your duties and responsibilities to identify those time consuming tasks and activities that you can abandon with no real loss. This is an ongoing responsibility for you that never ends. For example, a friend of mine, when he was single, was an avid golfer. He liked to golf 3 or 4 times a week, 3 to 4 hours each time. Over a period of years, he started a business, got married, and had 2 children. But he still played golf 3 to 5 times a week until he finally realized that his time on golf course was causing him enormous stress at home and at the office. It was only by abandoning most of his golf games that he could get his life back under control. Continually review your life and work to find those time consuming tasks and activities that you can abandon with no real loss. Cut down on television watching and spend the time saved with your family, or reading, or exercising, or doing something that enhances your life. Look at your work activities and identify the tasks that you could delegate or eliminate to free up more time for the work that really counts. Begin today to practice creative procrastination to set posteriorities wherever and whenever you can. This decision alone could change your life. Eat that frog. Practice zero based thinking on every part of your life. Ask yourself continually, if I was not doing this already, knowing what I now know, would I get into it again today? Examine each of your personal and work activities and evaluate it based on your situation today. If it is something you would not start up again today, knowing what you now know, it is a prime candidate for abandonment or creative procrastination. Chapter 17. Do the most difficult task first. The longer I live, the more I am certain that the great difference between men, between the feeble and the powerful, between the great and the insignificant is energy, invincible determination, a purpose once fixed, and then death or victory, said by Sir Thomas Fowell Buxton. One of the best techniques for overcoming procrastination and getting more things done faster is for you to start work by doing your most difficult task first. This is truly eating your frog. It is one of the hardest and yet one of the most important of all personal management skills. You develop this habit by following these steps. First, at the end of your workday or on the weekend, you make a list of everything you have to do the next day. You then review this list using the ABCDE method combined with the 80-20 rule. You then select your A1 most important task, the job that has the most serious potential consequences if you get it done or leave it undone. You assemble everything you need to start and finish this job and lay it out ready for you to start work in the morning. You clear your workspace completely so that you have this one most important task like a big frog sitting on your desk waiting for you in the morning. You then discipline yourself to get up, get ready, and then walk in, sit down, and start on your most difficult task without interruptions before you do anything else. You do this repeatedly every day for 21 days until it becomes a habit. With the discipline, you will literally double your productivity in less than a month. Starting first thing in the morning with your biggest and most important task is the opposite of what most people do. This discipline breaks you of the habit of procrastination and puts your future squarely in your own hands. Starting with your most difficult job or piece of the job gives you a jump start on the day. As a result, you will be more energized and productive from then on. On the days when you launch immediately into your top job, you will feel better about yourself and your work than on any other day. You will personally feel more powerful, more effective, more in control, and more in charge of your life than at any other time. Develop the habit of doing the most difficult task first, and you will never look back. You will become one of the most productive people of your generation. Eat that frog. See yourself as a work in progress. Dedicate yourself to developing the habits of high productivity by practicing them repeatedly until they become automatic and easy. One of the most powerful phrases you can learn and apply is just for today. Don't worry about changing yourself for your whole life. If it sounds like a good idea, do it just for today. Say to yourself, just for today, I'll plan, prepare, and start on my most difficult task before I do anything else. You will be amazed at the difference this makes in your life. Chapter 18. Slice and dice the task. The beginning of a habit is like an invincible thread, but every time we repeat the act, we strengthen the strand. Add to it another filament until it becomes a great cable and binds us irrevocably in thought and act. Said by Orison Swett Marden. A major reason for procrastinating on big important tasks is that they appear so large and formidable when you first approach them. One technique that you can use to cut a big task down to size is salami slice method of getting work done. With this method, you can lay out the task in detail and then resolve to do just one slice of the job for the time being, like eating a roll of salami one slice at a time, or like eating one piece of a frog at a time. Psychologically, you will find it easier to do a single small piece of a large project than to start on the whole job. Often, once you have started and completed a single part of the job, you will feel like doing just one more slice. Soon you will find yourself working through the job one part at a time, and before you know it, the job will be completed. An important point to remember is that you have deep within you an urge to completion, or what is often referred to as a compulsion to closure. This means that you actually feel happier and more powerful when you start and complete a task of any kind. You satisfy a deep subconscious need to bring finality to a job or project. This sense of completion and closure motivates you to start into the next task or project and then to persist towards final completion. This act of completion triggers that release of endorphins in your brain that we talked about earlier. And the bigger the task you start and complete, the better and more elated you feel. The bigger the frog you eat, the greater the surge of personal power and energy you will experience. When you start and finish a small piece of a task, you feel motivated to start and finish another part, and then another, and so on. Each small step Forward energizes you. You develop an inner drive that motivates you to carry through to completion. This completion gives you the great feeling of happiness and satisfaction that accompanies any success. Another technique you can use to get yourself going is called the Swiss cheese method of working. You use this technique to get yourself into gear by resolving to punch a hole into the task, like a hole in a block of Swiss cheese. You Swiss cheese a task when you resolve to work for a specific time period on a task. This may be as little as 5 or 10 minutes, after which you will stop and do something else. You will just take one bite of your frog and then rest or do something else. The power of this method is similar to the salami slice method. Once you start working, you develop a sense of forward momentum and a feeling of accomplishment. You become energized and excited. You feel yourself internally motivated and propelled to keep going until the task is complete. You should try the salami slice or the Swiss cheese method on any task that seems overwhelming when you approach it for the first time. You will be amazed at how helpful these techniques are in overcoming procrastination. I have several friends who have become best-selling authors by simply resolving to write one page or even one paragraph per day until the book was completed, and you can do the same.